Novosibirsk, a city rightfully called the scientific capital of Russia, the fate of our future portal into space is being decided. This is Ruslan Balash, the architect and ideologist of the Ural Mars project. His goal is to find the heart for our future observatory. What you see is not just a workshop, it is one of the few places in Russia where professional telescopes are born, capable of peering into the farthest corners of the universe. We are visiting the Astrosib company.
Ruslan, hello.
Hello.
My name is Anton Saveliev. I am the head of the Astrosib company. Now we will tell you what we do here.
Before us is a telescope with a diameter of 0.5 meter. For comparison, this is twice as large as most amateur models, which allows it to collect 4 times more light and see incredibly faint objects. Anton, the head of Astrosib, explains the uniqueness of their mounts, the support and rotation devices. Thanks to direct drives and precision sensors, they track a star with the telescope with an accuracy of a fraction of an arc-second. This allows for taking photos of galaxies and nebulae with multi-hour exposures, achieving stunning detail.
Yes, the color can be silver and similar to the color of all your buildings that I saw in the photo in your presentation.
So, whatever this gel coat will be, yes, the fiberglass, that color can be on the inside too.
Yes, but it is better if observatories are always either silver or white because there is less heating from the sun. The Astrosib dome ASD 4.5 4.5 is the radius, or rather its maximum diameter. ASD stands for All Sky Dome. Well, as I said, 12 people can easily fit sitting there, and a certain number can stand near the telescope, and 1 person observes. What makes our dome interesting compared to other domes? Because it is designed for tours, specifically this type of dome is very suitable for excursions. It opens completely, and everyone sits and listens to a lecture under the starry sky, not just looking at the dome walls or through a slit that is open, as is usually the case in old domes, but looking at the starry sky. A guide with a laser pointer gives a lecture on the starry sky, while 1 person meanwhile looks at some object, and people take turns gradually coming up.
So it would be reasonable to just have some kind of sign-up, say, at 14:15, a group of 16 people goes in and finishes at 16:30, for example. And it's better to just have interchangeability than to build some kind of room, right?
Of course, yes. Well, besides, if it's just a tour of the starry sky, people can stand around the dome and listen to the tour.
Is some kind of pile foundation enough for this dome, then?
Oh, no, usually. Well, a pile one is possible. But usually it's a concrete foundation pad, typically reinforced naturally, precisely following the contour of our dome's base, circular with 2 protrusions.
So basically like a monolithic reinforced concrete slab, so to speak.
Yes, and accordingly there must be a pier for the telescope. Well, if this slab is thick and monolithic, it can be integrated with the pier of the telescope itself.
Although it seems the structure itself is light, fiberglass, and everything there is carbon fiber, so it's light. But reinforced concrete is still needed, like for...
Yes, it's needed not to support the weight of the dome, but to eliminate vibrations. Mainly, the foundation is needed not so much for the dome as for the telescope, so that people walking around it don't shake the telescope. Well, so that it doesn't vibrate.
So for the optics and everything, that's also interesting information. At first it seems that this heavy thing is for stability, but no, it's to prevent vibration.
That's the advantage of such a dome for tours and public observations. Because in a standard traditional dome, where only a part of the sky opens, giving tours is, well, impossible. As I found out at our Novosibirsk planetarium, when there are many people, all the heat from their bodies rushes into that slit of the dome. And it really ruins the image.
It distorts the air currents, those ones?
Yes. But here this effect is absent.
So it's like, let's say, ventilation.
Yes, but this dome has the function of opening partially. If, for example, there's a strong side wind, we can open, say, half or even less than half.
To shield it somehow.
Yes, to shield it somehow and observe with the dome not fully open if there's such a need. Yes, and some of our customers, these are mostly professional astronomers, they prefer to also raise this dome above the ground. Why? Because the surface layer, the heated ground in some cases, ruins the image. And if you raise it, then, of course, well, sometimes it helps, and the image quality improves.
So you recommend basically just a foundation, this hemisphere. It turns out it will be somehow simpler and we get all the same functionality.
Well, yes. That is slightly in some, well, these are specific cases when, for example, there's no wind. Maybe the image will be slightly worse than if we raised it, but then there are other downsides. First of all, it's a lot of extra money.
And
Secondly, it's a little bit risky for public observations. So,
well, these risks aren't needed
yeah,
by anyone.
right.
We can include an analog mode. It's like an option that's not very expensive, right? Well, I mean, looking through the eyepiece, it's just that everyone associates it with, well, a real telescope if you can see, but with a monitor, people think, well, they're probably just showing some picture basically.
Well, yeah. Actually, visual observation, it's very much like, for some reason, it's underestimated in modern amateur astronomy, but in my opinion, it's very impressive. Why? Because photons directly from something there, from some objects, fall into your eye. Directly. It's like a live image.
From some planet.
Yes. From some planet or a galaxy that's been traveling for billions of years and suddenly hit your eye. And here we just see an image on a computer or on this.
Not same.
We see something that's not the same.
For scientists, fine.
Well, yeah.
But for the user, of course.
Well, of course, photos, photography of distant objects especially, they are much more informative and much more beautiful than visual observation because there's an accumulation effect present.
Anyway, what we figured out for ourselves. We need a foundation there, not so the structure would stand, but to avoid vibrations, maybe different color solutions to match the style, maybe built-in analog mode. We probably don't need any external room, although I originally came with that thought, thinking people would be in there. Well, like in groups, tours logically turn out to be up to 16 people. So that's our starting task. Then Artyom will come too, and we'll get some kind of commercial proposal already, I think, from which we can start some work.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be the first object that will actually start forming some tourist flow. Anyway, our location is called Ural Mars. I mean, I've seen all sorts of photos there, watched on YouTube what it looks like. Until I came myself, there really are such different colors, textures. Well, it seems like they're unearthly. Well, our brain reads it as something unearthly since it's rarely seen. A tourist attraction is planned there, so that not only locals go there and from Moscow or from elsewhere, but like a world-class place, so that we go abroad somewhere for a certain experience. It's the same here. That place looks like Mars. There aren't many places like that, actually. There are some. Well, in all those Emirates, in the deserts, they try to make glampings with that focus, but it's still sand, you can tell. But here, the soil itself is truly unique. Even the water is like that. You can have various events there, and its focus is on popular science tourism. So it's going to be planned as a glamping observatory. So, for example, there'll be your main telescope like this, then Mars-style capsules, in a futuristic space style, and they'll have small personal telescopes there. So you can come there as a scientist, I don't know, sit and write a thesis, relax. It's not just a sauna, barbecue, and so on, like everyone does with those glampings, but something with events where kids can study the soil. And basically, we need a telescope. It'll be the basis foundation, so not only amateurs would want to come, but also, well, it's clear a professional won't go there just for research, but to get a unique experience and also to get some professional images to see, so it's worth it anyway. So basically, that's the goal. And now we're promoting this project. Basically, there will be a food truck, various things, maybe even a spa. In short, various functions like an ecosystem of this unique and rather non-standard style of glamping. So that's basically the main concept here.
Well, that's great.
And here you are with these unexpected telescopes. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. I thought it would be simpler. I see some. I hadn't received much information yet, so to speak. I thought, I'll go film it. Yeah, it's all good. Well, some telescopes, I guess. The private sector is far away. I thought I'd arrive somewhere and dogs would bark. But here it's like, I don't know, Elon Musk. Everything moves, everything opens up, it's serious. Anyway, it's a good theme for Russia, and it can be developed further as a franchise, meaning a network of scientific glampings. That's the plan, at least. So we'll wrap it up here. I apologize for my slightly sickly voice, if anything. Well, I hope everyone found it interesting. The telescope we're looking at is a Ritchie-Chrétien system. The exact same optical design is used in the famous Hubble Space Telescope. This provides a wide field of view without distortion, which is ideal for astrophotography. But what's especially valuable for our project is the possibility of visual observation. In a world of digital images, there's a special magic in seeing with your own eyes photons that traveled millions of years from a distant galaxy and ended their journey on your retina. It's not a picture on a monitor, it's a living cosmos. With the help of these telescopes, new planets have been discovered.
Yes, new planets, and not just elsewhere, but we've also found some in our solar system, meaning asteroids or minor planets. But what's really interesting is that planets have been discovered around other stars, in other star systems.
No less important than the telescope itself is its home, the observatory dome. The all-sky dome design from Astrosib is the perfect solution for our science and tourism complex. Unlike classic observatories, where only a narrow slit opens, this dome opens up completely, turning the space into an open-air planetarium. This will allow us to hold engaging lectures for entire groups, where everyone can enjoy the view of the starry sky while a guide with a laser pointer talks about the constellations. This trip is a key step in making our dream a reality. Choosing the right telescope and observatory will define the unique experience that our guests will have. It won't just be a vacation, but a real journey, both through space to the Martian landscapes of the Urals and through time to distant stars and galaxies.